Hello, everyone. Hi, Robin.
Hi, Heidi.
Hi. We're here today to talk about the meaning of life, what triggers are helpful to do in figuring out uh, your areas where you get hung up, and what you're really here to learn about and to aspire to. So we want to talk about that today. Let's start off with asking the question, what what do you feel is the meaning of life for humans? Why do you think we're here?
Expansion. That would be the one word that we would use. The universe, if you were to study it, and many of your scientists have, they would tell you it is a never-ending, ever-growing, ever-expanding universe, you see. And energy is what is expanding it. And as you are emitting your emotions, as you are having your preferences upon the earth plane, the universe is receiving this energy from you, this expansion of all that is and of you. And that is the main reason or idea that is behind the life that you are living.
Yes. And so you would probably say, including in that expansion, would be our learning and our growth, which is expanding the whole.
Absolutely. You
Yes.
would agree, Heidi, as a human, you are an example of that expansion. You come into this world, you can't walk, you can't feed yourself, you can't talk. You have to learn everything and grow as a human. It's a process that all must go through, you see. And you would agree that if you were to compare yourself right now to how you were when you entered this plane of existence, that there has been a great expansion or difference in you by the life you have lived.
Yes.
Now, if
Yes.
we were to magnify that and look out a little bit further in all that is, this would be true of all the lives that you have lived. And now it is just a bigger scale or a grander version of you than you and just this human life you are living.
hmm I was giving some thought to the next question and how, as humans, we feel that some life experiences are more important than others and they have more value and meaning, maybe from our human perspective. And I was just kind of playing around in my own head, thinking about someone, like we could just use the example of an actor or an actress that makes a lot of money and does something that maybe not all, but a lot of people think, wow, that would be a cool job. I would like to do that and make lots of money. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing any more for the whole than we are. And so let's talk about that a little bit, about why it isn't necessary for us to do big things for it to expand or be part of the universe. And that maybe something that we think from our human perspective is really small might actually expand the universe a lot.
Yes. Primarily, you are joy-seeking, fun-loving, let's use that term, humans. And really what we are trying to transmit to you in that statement is, in all that is, in where you emanate from, you are in joy, you are in the highest vibratory level of love, of peace, of harmony, all the good stuff, yes? And so we want you to know that if you can obtain that level that matches all that is in your human form, you will be reflected this vision of yourself that you are very much in line with or very happy with, you see, and it will create more joy in you. It is why we are telling you to let go of the negative charges of emotion that you are experiencing in the lives you are having, because that is being transmuted in all that is. And by transmuted, we mean received in the manner that you are intending, that you really want from the experience you are having. What you have decided from that negativity is usually, I would say always, it's opposite. You don't want it. It's why you are experiencing the negativity to begin with, you see. And so what we always tell a human is, one in their joy, one in their happiness, is in their alignment. And when you're in your alignment, you are the power that creates worlds. You are a human God that has capabilities and creative potential far beyond what you realize you do. But being in your joy state, being in your happy state, it's not about being a famous person. It's not about being a billionaire. It's not about achieving some level of achievement. It's about coming into this joy and happiness with self, this love of self, that is the greatest contribution that you can give as a human.
Okay, that's good information. We have a lot to learn about ourselves from our close connected relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you suppose people overlook that? They look at it as just, oh, that's just there. It's nothing I need to really dive into, but it really is the basis for our biggest growth, the people that are close to us and around us. And we'll get into triggers a little bit in a minute, but why do you suppose that's so overlooked?
We are glad that you brought this up. In fact, we did a YouTube that just went out, and we know that you did not have a chance to listen to it. And we talked about co-creating, and it's a good topic that you have brought to us today. What is co-creating? Co-creating is anything that we are doing when we are in an interaction with another human. We don't care if it's the grocery checkout, the gas man, your neighbor, your brother, your husband, your father, your sister, your son, whoever it is, you are in a co-creative position or place with these people that you are interacting with. Mm-hmm. And what we really want you to understand is that you are the picker, the chooser, the designer of the life that you are living, and that something in your vibratory level is what is bringing before you the experiences with the ones that you are having them with. You see, we have had many humans come to us when they are in conflict, and they want to justify the reason for the conflict. The one stole from me, the one wronged me, the one stole my wife, the one did something, you see. But never once do they ever stop to think about what they did to provide an atmosphere in their vibratory level that drew the one to them. And the universe is an intricate grid. It is so good at satisfying or connecting like situations to people. And when we say co-creating, the one that is coming to you also has a vibration. It also has a vibratory level that is looking to connect. And so what we want you to understand when you are having an interaction with another human, it is not just you, but it is them too. And it is for you to find out or figure out where the connection is. How is it that two of you are finding yourself together, whether it is in love or conflict, and then to make the identification what it is that you are sending out to the universe that has now caused this one to be before you. Many humans will move into arguments. They'll move into you're right, I'm wrong. And this is their way of flinging or pushing away a creation that they have created that they do not want to take responsibility for. We want to congratulate you a little bit, Heidi, because we know that we talked prior to this recording. We'll give you a moment to relive a little bit about what we talked about. But you had a little bit of a conflict or something that came before you that you were not liking the feel of. And instead of reacting to it, instead of flinging it back at the one that was bringing it to you, you decided to go home and take it with you and figure out once and for all how it is and why it is that this thing showed up in your experience. Once you did this, guess what happened? The high part of yourself connected to you and you felt good. And no longer did you need to bring it to the other one. No longer did you need to fling it at them or to make them the one that is the cause of the feeling that you had. You worked it out with yourself. Are we correct in this analysis?
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say in small parts, I maybe experienced parts of it, but I would say that was probably the first time that I really was able to like go through the whole thing, come to a understanding point and release it and have no need to address anything with the other person.
We really like your analogy of not needing to address it or no need to satisfy the urge, and it was an urge, you would agree, that you had to be right, that you had to tell the one what they had done wrong. You decided to forego all that. And in that, we want you to understand, because it's very important for you to get this, that that was you merging with you. That was the high part of you joining in your right thinking.
Mm-hmm.
When you were thinking of blaming the one, when you were thinking of telling the one off for what it is that they had done, you were feeling negative. And that was when you were separating from the high part of yourself. But once you decided to move into this connection to high self by owning, that's what you did, the experience and understanding, you had somehow brought it to yourself, and you didn't have to figure out. We say to humans all the time, we can keep going in your bag of dirty laundry and pulling out things that you don't like the smell of, or we can just decide to throw the laundry into the wash and not worry about what's causing the stink, you see. And that's kind of what you did. It doesn't really matter that you figure out exactly what caused the stink, but you just decide that you are the causer of the stink and you're going to clean it up.
Yeah, and I also would just say that that was the key in it, because there's other issues in the past where maybe I've held my tongue and not lashed out or spoke out when I've been frustrated, but I haven't come to the resolution necessarily in myself why I felt that way. I was just trying to pretend like
You were
everything
using
is fine.
suppression.
Yeah, and when I pretended, and as we always laugh and say, you, me, and my daughter, we can't not show our expressions or not, people don't know how we're feeling because it kind of shows on our face. And so every time I would pretend, I would always be found out because I couldn't fool, because I'd say, oh, everything's fine, but it really wasn't fine in me. And this time, because I went through the process of looking at my connection to it and why it was in front of me, I was able to fully be by that person and not have any sense that there was anything wrong, because there wasn't anything wrong anymore.
We really want to congratulate you, and we want you to revel in and even settle in and think about in that moment how you felt, how powerful. That's how you felt.
I
It's a
agree.
whole different feeling than victimized. That's how you felt in the other situation. And you decided to choose your power. And in choosing your power, we want you to really ponder or hold yourself in the recognition of humans are asking all the time, how can I channel? How can I connect to my high self? And we would tell you that oftentimes Robin will ponder something, and then we will answer. The connection that she has with us will cause us to come forth and answer, you see. And so as you asked yourself, the universe, what is going on with me? Why do I have this feeling? And you took the one out of the equation. You didn't really want to pin it or blame it on anyone. You simply wanted to resolve it within yourself. And so this peace, this harmony, this rising in your vibratory level that was brought to you by your request is what we really want you to revel in and feel and recognize, that you are able to deliver this to yourself over and over and over again. It is simply an ask away in your authenticity. Here we are again. We've talked to humans about manifesting in their authenticity, and you did it, Heidi. That's exactly what you did. You did it in your genuineness. You did it in your childlike nature. You did it in a way that the universe knew, that you truly just wanted to know why you felt that way and how you could resolve this within yourself.
Mm-hmm. And from like going through, I've been listening to some other podcasts, and one of the interesting things that came up that made me kind of think about today's topic was how your family are such great teachers, and you have so much room for growth with them. Some people feel they need to go off somewhere else, and there is a place and or I should say, a time and a place where that is relevant and helpful to people. But sometimes getting yourself out of that situation, you come back and you have a close person that triggers you, and within a second, you're right back to where you were before you left. And I think the person that I was listening to in the podcast, it was having to do with Ram Dass going to India or somewhere and being in this bliss, peaceful, monk-like state for several weeks or however long he was there. And then he came home and his dad picked him up, and his dad's first words were, "So when are you going to get a job?" And instantaneously he was mad. And he thought, how could I have spent all these weeks feeling like I had evolved myself to this point, only to come home and have one silly question by my father just derail me? And so I think that's important, that people know the significance of their everyday life in their growth and how to use those opportunities for just something as silly as, when are you going to get a job? Looking at, why did that make me so angry?
Yes, we would tell you that part of the problem with human in their close relationships, and we are talking about partnerships, we're talking about parents, children and parents, these type of relationships, they oftentimes will not recognize the message that they are getting as easily as they might if it is coming from someone that they are not as close to. So again, we're going to go back to congratulating you on sorting out your debacle, because it was someone that you were close to, and you were still able to hold yourself in a space where you're able to figure it out or get the release that you were looking for, you see. And what happens is when we're speaking about this, Ram Dass, is he immediately is re-triggered or brought back to his childhood, and then where the responses are automatic, they are in the subconscious mind, and that is what occurred in this exchange that he had. And then he is surprised by what comes out. But what we are really wanting to communicate to you is that even in this case, whenever an emotion comes from you, you have still called the one before you that is bringing you the message about it, whether it be your father, your husband, your brother, your sister, someone you're really close to. Oftentimes, it will be easier for you to try to justify, there that word is again, that they are wrong, they don't get you, they are judging you. You will use some type of a tactic, but we will tell you that it's the same every time, and that you should employ the same wisdom and knowledge with every person you are in interaction with, including those that you are close to. Treat them all the same, in that you are going to look at why they are before you and take responsibility for that reason.
So,
he had anger remaining within him. His father is nothing more than the deliverer of that reflection, you see.
Yeah.
And so it could be anger at his father. He could blame his father as the reason. He could justify it. He's done something. He is something. But as he holds that view of his father in anger, the universe perceives him in anger. And it will give him one situation after another to show him the view that he is holding.
Why do you think that, not that we can't be triggered by outsiders in different circumstances in our life, but why do you think that the people we are so close to are the best at triggering us?
Because we feel that they should know us well enough that they see us the way we see ourselves, you see. And funny thing is, they are seeing you the way the universe perceives you, and they're reflecting that back to you. You're getting the direct reflection that you're giving to the universe in your view of another. Now, that person can be a pain in the neck. That person can be a cheater, a liar. It could be whatever you want to call it. And we're never going to argue with something, whether it is right or wrong or true or false. That's not what it's about. It's what you are concluding, what you are judging, what you are deciding in the moment that you look at this one is what the universe will now send to you, you see. It doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong. This is where a human gets mixed up or caught up. They think that there is a right and wrong. They think that the one deserves it. They think they're right, you see. And we're going to tell you something. You have to look at the universe as a perceiver of you. That's all it is. It doesn't care about your interactions. It doesn't care about what it is that you think should happen or not happen. It only cares about what you emanate to it in the way that you feel about everyone and everything that you are encountering. That's all it cares about. It doesn't care about the reasons. It doesn't care about the justifications. It doesn't care about the rights and wrongs. It cares about receiving a charge of energy to you and returning something back to you that is similar of it. All it cares.
Yeah.
It's expanded. It got the message. It heard you. We've told you over and over, the very best thing you can do when you do something and you don't like the smell of it or the feel of it, that you just say, I just expanded. I just sent a charge of energy to all that is. I know they got it. I know I'm greater for it. I know they're greater for it. I'm going to let it go, because if I don't, I'm going to continue to add to that charge. I can, if I want to build more energy behind that negativity and send more charges off and wallow in some misery for a while, you can do that. But we would suggest that once you've sent the charge of energy, you know it has been received. The letter is sent. It's in the mail. It's coming. Let it go.
I was, as I said before, listening to another podcast by Rob Dial, and some of the things that I got some very good tips. And one of the things I think could be tweaked to when you're triggered. And so what his example was, you have these automatic thoughts. You're walking along, you see a stranger, and all of a sudden you might get this negative thought about this stranger, and you don't even know them. You just get this awful thought in your head. And most of the time, you know, if you're a normal, good human, you might think, geez, why did I get this thought? I don't even know this person. Why am I thinking these bad thoughts? But he was saying to take it a step further and to catch that thought and then replace it with 3 positive thoughts. And so to look back at this person that you just had this thought about that you didn't even know, and look at something, 3 things in him that you admire, whether it be something he was wearing or the way he talked to someone or whatever. And I thought that would be a really good practice to use when you're triggered, because like I was thinking of my instance that I had last night, and how once I talked myself off the ladder of being mad at the one in front of me and what I was to get from the experience, I was trying to, this is before I even had heard this podcast, but I was trying to think of something that I could be feeling loving about to this person. And then when I heard this practice today, I thought, well, that would have been a really great tool for me to have last night, because I could have incorporated that as well. Once I got to the point where I could see what I needed to learn about it, I think that it would have even brought myself back into a more loving state quicker if I would have thought of a few things to admire or to look at rather than the things that irritated me.
Let's talk about the negative thought to begin with. Let's go back a little bit. Yes?
Yeah.
So really what is occurring when a human is having negative thoughts, and we are hearing what you are saying, that you are trying to overcome them by adding positive ones.
Yeah.
And we have said to you in the past, so you're not off base with that idea, that but what's really happening is the reason the negative thought is coming to you at all is because there is something very active within your vibration that is letting you know that you are getting in the vicinity of a manifestation, and they're going to start showing you through the negativity and the thought very close. What you are dwelling upon is going to manifest in something that you're not liking, you see. And that is the reason for the thought. It is a signal or a sign from all that is, that it's not coming out of nowhere. It's coming out of your universe. It's coming close to you. Let's use that term. Yes. So what you are saying in adding, you want to add positivity. And we have said to humans that when you're on a negative train and it is going at a fast speed, it is very hard to get it to stop and turn around immediately. And so it is going to be some time, or there's going to take some turnaround time where you're going to have to hold that positive vibration for quite a while before you start to see the result of it in your experience. And some of these things that have been activated start to settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
But we want humans to really understand that there are often times when a lot of negative thoughts are coming and they're very disturbed by them. They try to suppress them, they try to change them, they try to make them go away. And we would really rather that you recognize, because as you recognize something, this is a way to soothe it. This is a way to calm it down and settle it down a little bit, and to say, thank you, universe, for letting me know in this negative thought, whatever it is related to, I can certainly understand where I am close to another manifestation that is going to make me feel the way that I am feeling as I hold this negative view that I'm holding. Once again, it is not necessarily about the person in front of you. You are wanting to make it that way, but it is more the emotion that you have been holding for a very long time has been held long enough. I'm going to view it to you through this person in front of you so you can have a look at it and that you can maybe recognize it. I'm trying to help you. And if by this sign and signal, you could recognize where in your universe or where in your perception are you holding this type of emotion? So now you are being supplied with more and more thoughts that are like it. See? So there is definitely an interaction with you and you as this is going on. So even though we like the idea of adding to your universe what it is that you would like contrary to it, we would also like you to soothe yourself into the recognition that your high self is trying to notify you through negative thoughts that you are becoming closer and closer to a manifestation that is going to feel this way, you see. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah. And he had used another example, which I'd like to get your thoughts on, of like, you every holiday you get together with certain relatives, and maybe there's one that is always negative, that irritates you and frustrates you. And every time you go there, that's the same experience. And his challenge was just to see if you can keep your calm and keep yourself feeling good around it, instead of reacting and dragging yourself down to it. Just do a little experiment with yourself to see if you can hold yourself high no matter what's going on with that person.
Because it is never about the person. If you are not activated, if you are not perceiving the one as irritating, if you are not perceiving the one as troublesome, you will not have that type of interaction with them. What's going to happen is, we've told you this even in relationships, but nobody does it long enough to really find out the truth of it, is when you hold yourself in this view of how you would like a relationship to be, they are either going to conform or change to that way, or the relationship is going to very naturally dissolve or go away. And that would be the same in these situations at Christmas that you are talking about with relatives that are aggravating. You see, as you hold your focus in a vision of how you would like that engagement to go, how you would like that you love relatives, that you love getting together at Christmas time with all relatives, that you are really expecting to have a wonderful time, a good time, you will find that even this one will conform. And if that one doesn't, they will not be in your purview or in your view. You see, it will be very separated from you. And so you do have the ability as a human to create, by pre-paving a intention of how you would like your relationships to be, how you would like your party to be, your drive to be, whatever it is that you're doing. Robin remembers flying on a long flight somewhere, and she said to herself before she went, she would love nothing more than to sit down in the chair and enjoy herself so much, and all of a sudden be disappointed that they were landing. And to her amazement, after a 12 or 14-hour flight, this is exactly what happened. She didn't think it could ever be possible. But we would tell you that intention is everything. If you set an intention that you want things to go well, that you want them to be smooth, that you want them to feel, and that's what she wanted. She wanted to feel easy. Then this is what you are going to receive.
So kind of back on the whole meaning of life subject, if you are talking to someone that maybe feels like their life isn't what they had hoped for, are they still getting everything they need to get the full meaning out of their life in whatever their circumstances are, even if they're feeling like they're not hitting the mark or they're not doing what they'd hoped for?
They are, because we are going to tell you that a human that is living unconsciously and is in negativity is going to be in conflict a lot. And conflict doesn't feel good. It will come to a point where a human has to move. Something has to change. And this level will continue to rise as they continue to do this. It will get worse and worse and worse until they recognize this important fact that we are telling you, that they can create something different, you see. So the increase in one's misery oftentimes is the very thing that will bring them to the breaking point where they will let go of this resistance. They will decide nothing is worth it. Nothing is worth feeling this way. Many humans will make that statement when they are on the brink of a breakthrough. They have decided that I don't care if this one's right or wrong. I don't care about anything. I just want to feel good. That's what usually is the result that happens when a human is feeling a lot of contrast, you see. So you look at negativity as being a negative thing, and we look at negativity as a notification in wrong thinking, or getting stuck. We hate to say wrong thinking, getting stuck in something perhaps that you're not liking, that's not in alignment with you, that is not what you have really have a desire to feel in all that is. And so you are notified through this high part of yourself that the way that you are allowing yourself to be stuck in the sludge of this thought pattern isn't really going to bring the connection or the alignment to what you have become. Now, the negativity has created through the emotional response and through the energy that it is, there is expansion of you that has occurred, whether you get to receive it on the earth plane or not. We want you to know that it's here. So many humans don't know that. They keep expanding, expanding, expanding. And as you said, is it any good? Of course it is. All that is growing. They are growing. There's nothing happening here, but there is a suffering human happening. There is a human that is not connected to the high part of themselves, that can't see what they've grown to by the experience and the contributions they've made. And why have we come? Well, this is a good opportunity to tell you why we've come. We've come because we want you to be in joy. We want you to experience love and laughter and fun and what you really came here to have as a human. We don't want you to get stuck in the pain and misery of the contrast. We want you to release any emotions that you have, and then know that you have expanded because of them. And in this noticing of when you don't feel good and moving to feeling good, you can actually start to see and form what you have created by the sacrifices you have made.
So if you're someone that maybe didn't get to the life that they'd hoped for, and you had lots of desires throughout your lifetime, and you expanded, the universe and your high self from those experiences, but you personally didn't get to enjoy them.
You did get that. You just did not
Right,
materialize it in form.
right. That's what I
Yes.
mean.
Yes.
Is it possible then in a future incarnation you would get to
Absolutely.
experience those?
Everything that is in your universe is yours. Nobody's taking it away. Nobody's dissipating it. Once it's in there, it's there. We've talked about the all-inclusive planet of Earth and of your universe, and we are going to tell you that anything that you have experienced, any contribution that you have made, any growth that you have had is yours. It's not going away. It's not for nothing. You have expanded yourself in all that is, and if the human doesn't receive it in form, no skin off of anyone's back.
Yeah. So what is the determining factor then of if, like, I mean, obviously I would think over lifetimes people have very large banks of manifestations that they have piled up.
Hmm.
And you say you're coming into your new life experience, what would be the deciding factor of what you would pick and choose to have as your manifestations out of that very large bag of manifestations that you've created over many lifetimes?
This is actually the answer or the determining factor of why sometimes in very young ages you will have humans that are entering the earth plane that already are musicians or already are as young children able to do feats that are inexplainable or you cannot understand, you see. And many of them have aligned to themselves in all that is and have decided to use the expansion that they have had in prior lifetimes to now express at a very early age. This is one of the determining factors of a life that a human might choose. But it is all of your choosing, you see. And then there might be those that have decided that they have been in the life and they did not connect or get in human form what it is they are wanting. And then they're going to want to take a look at that emotive value or that thing that prevented them from allowing themselves to connect to the high part of themselves. And they might work on that or try to get that in balance so that they can receive and form what it is that they have grown to and all that is, you see. So there are many determining factors about the life that a human will live and how they will live it. And it is decided by them, you see. It is their virtual reality or bank that they have brought with them into all that is that they will express from in upcoming lifetimes that they will live, you see, and not just upon the earth plane, wherever it is they are choosing to go. Sometimes we think humans have been told that they are limited beings, that they have to be a certain level or potential in order to experience what it is they are wanting to experience. And we would tell you that if you have the potential to imagine anything, you can have it, you see.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to believe it. You have to be able to hold it. This is the key.
Yeah. Well, I have a little visualization that I thought would be nice to share and get your feedback on. This is also something I had listened to on another podcast. And this visualization has you imagine what your life would feel or what you would want your life to be like in 10 years. Where are you? What what are you doing? What are the people around you doing? You know, who's around you? Visualize and embody it very vividly in your mind, what that would look like.
Yes.
And then from there, imagine either someone you know that has that life or what you think a person that would have that life would be like, and write down those traits and all of the things that you think contributed to them having this life that you want in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're done with that, look at where you are and what things you'd have to shift in your own life that would make you more attracting to that life in 10 years. And the person maybe that has that life, what attractive qualities they have that brought that to them. So we just wanted to share that and get your thoughts on that and how people could use that to their benefit.
We are grateful for you bringing that to the YouTube because it is a practice that we are behind and that we feel that would be very useful to humans. Imagining one's future is a great thing to do because you are always in the present moment creating what will be coming in your future, you see. And so what you are doing is using your now moment to project out into your future what it is you were wanting to view or see. What we would add to it, and we know that you were intending to add it, but we just want to make the statement that how would it make you feel? How do I feel as I look at this projection, and then use some pictures. People have used vision boards, and we like the idea of vision boards because as you pin these things up and you smile and you look at them, it makes you feel as though you are there. You are able to embody the feeling. This is the most important part of the manifestation, is emanating that feeling that you are wanting to feel to all that is, so that it can return to you experiences, circumstances, situations, and wants that will match the feeling that you are emanating to it, you see. And so if you are wanting to be a professional, to look at a website where someone has really had some nice photography done, their website is maybe very high standard. They have lots of things that are very professional looking that are for sale on there. And then as you revel really in that imagining state of replacing yourself in the picture so that you could get the feel of what it would feel like to own that or to have it. And we would recommend that you do this in all areas of your life, whether it is a house or a mate or whatever it is that you are wanting. We've had some fun interactions with humans when we are doing sessions that are wanting a mate, and we said, go out, buy some lingerie, get some good perfume, get a new haircut, put the lingerie on, and then do some imagining about how you would be received in the state that you are presenting yourself in. This is the best way in this feeling of feeling good, of feeling sexy, of feeling wanted, admired. This is the best way that you are going to bring something to yourself when you are emitting this feeling to all that is. It can't help itself but return it to you.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I've just started doing in the last like week or two is, I don't know if it's an age thing, but occasionally I'll wake myself up once or twice in the night. And usually I'm not up for long, but I'll wake up for a few minutes here or there. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5 in the morning.
Mhm.
And it used to irritate me. And I used to think, oh my God, I'm awake. I just want to be sleeping. Now I've got interrupted sleep. And all of a sudden, one day I just got the thought, well, this is a perfect time for me
Yes.
to think about what I want and to like have a really good visualization until it puts me right back to sleep.
Mm.
And so then I start doing that. And now before I know it, I'm back to sleep and I don't even know how far I got into my visualization and
Yes.
I'm sleeping again. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm using the time as to benefit my life instead of irritate me.
You are a smart girl, we would tell you, because whether you know it or not, the most non-resistive period for a human is in this time range that you have mentioned, just several hours before waking or near the wake time. A human is in one of the most non-resistive states that they can be in. As you implant this intention within yourself, and you are in this non-resistive state, you are amplifying your signal, whether you are knowing or not, to all that is. So this is a very good practice. We would recommend it to anyone. There is nothing, you are not interacting with anyone. You are not having to do anything that is going to conflict with your intention. So this is the very best time for you to implant some thoughts in yourself that you are wanting to make manifest. And we like it.
Oh, good, good.
Yes. It's why you
Uh,
woke up. You just didn't know it.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our discussion today on meaning of life and got some good tips. And as always, you can email me with questions at heidi@athenaintruth.com. We are continuing to work on the course and Robin's book coming out in February. So we're excited for that. We're hoping that that's a good thing and provides a lot of tools for people to move forward.
Uh, we are most grateful for all of you that are listening to our podcast and our YouTube channel. We would greatly appreciate that you share it with anyone that you think would find it to be a benefit to them. We are always open to questions and always looking for expansive ways to deliver material to those of you that are listening or wanting it, you see. We are, as Heidi said, working fervently on this course that we'll be offering. Once the book comes out, it will follow our book. We know that it is a few months out yet, but Heidi is making good progress with it, and it should be ready sometime in February or March, we are anticipating. We will start sending out information and find out who it is that would like to participate in this course that we're doing. We will let you know the number of hours it will be, when it will be, and what you can expect. And we're also going to offer a 30-minute session for a number of people that are the first to sign up for it. All of that material will become forthcoming to you in the next several months.
Sounds good. Also, another thing I just thought of too is topic ideas. If anybody has specific topics that they would like us to address that we haven't addressed previously, email me with those suggestions as well. Thank you, Athena. Thank you, Robin. We'll
You
see
as
you all
well.
next week.
Good day.
Good day.